they're done. And it's no wonder everyone avoided them like the plague.
TMZ just dropped a bomb on Blake Lively.
Matt Damon just put Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively on blast, exposing some shocking behind-the-scenes drama from the making of Deadpool 2. While the couple is known for their playful online banter and picture-perfect public appearances, Damon's alleged claims suggest a much darker reality, one filled with ego clashes, power moves, and behind-closed-doors chaos. Could Ryan and Blake have deliberately sabotaged a simple cameo shoot just to keep the spotlight on themselves? That's the burning question swirling around this Hollywood rumor mill. Allegations of leaked voicemails, on-set meltdowns, and manipulative tactics have surfaced, reportedly leaving Damon fuming. And when someone as respected and low drama as Matt Damon starts dropping hints of foul play, people pay attention. This isn't your usual tabloid fluff, it's a rare peek behind the curtain of Hollywood's polished facade, where even the most media-savvy stars may not be as squeaky clean as they seem. Let's rewind. When Deadpool 2 hit theaters, fans went wild over its star-studded cameos. Brad Pitt appeared for a split second. Alan Tudyk had a blink-and-you-miss-it scene, and Matt Damon was nearly unrecognizable in full prosthetics, delivering a bizarre monologue filled with bathroom humor. It should have been a simple, lighthearted moment, just another A-lister dropping in for a fun Easter egg. But behind the scenes, tensions were reportedly high. Ryan Reynolds, not just the film's star but also its co-writer and producer, was allegedly at the center of it all. And if these whispers hold any truth, this could be one of Hollywood's most unexpected feuds yet.
We're still waiting on the amended lawsuit from Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. They're supposed to be adding names or evidence, who knows, but today is the due date.
Ryan Reynolds allegedly wanted complete creative control over every cameo in Deadpool 2. This wasn't just a Deadpool movie, it was Ryan's playground, and if anyone was going to shine, it would be on his terms. Then came the Blake Lively factor. According to whispers, she reportedly got involved in the production, not entirely surprising for a Hollywood power couple, but not just with minor suggestions. Instead, sources claim she weighed in on who got screen time and how much. Some even say Matt Damon's original cameo was much longer, funnier, and more substantial. But after a few friendly suggestions from Blake, it was allegedly trimmed, chopped down, and nearly scrapped altogether. Was it personal? Strategic? No one knows for sure. But suddenly, Damon, an Oscar-winning A-lister, found himself fighting for mere scraps of screen time in a movie he was invited to grace in the first place. And that was just the beginning. Here's where the real red flags start flying. Sources. Close to the production claim that once Ryan and Blake realized Damon was locked in, things allegedly got messy and fast. Last-minute script changes, sudden scene rewrites, dialogue tweaks, timing adjustments. The scene Damon had originally agreed to, it was morphing into something entirely different, and not in a fun, collaborative way, more like a, "You're lucky we're still letting you be in this kind of way." Allegedly, Ryan requested more solo lines. Blake reportedly suggested trimming down scenes that didn't highlight his comedic edge. And somewhere in the middle of this creative storm, Matt Damon, a Hollywood veteran and consummate professional, was forced to renegotiate what was supposed to be a simple, lighthearted favor. According to rumors, Damon's team got sucked into frantic back-and-forth negotiations with producers and lawyers. Phone calls flew, contracts were allegedly rewritten on the fly. And all the while, Damon was left wondering how a fun cameo had turned into a political minefield. Did Ryan push for control because he felt threatened? Did Blake work behind the scenes to ensure her husband was the clear star? Whatever the truth, one thing became clear: this was no longer just a friendly cameo. It was a battle for dominance. And as intense as the contract disputes were, the real chaos happened off the record, where egos clashed, tempers flared, and the drama reached an explosive level no one saw coming.
Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace.
Let's dive into those infamous meltdown moments that no PR team wants to talk about. Hollywood loves to pretend they don't happen, but when they do, they leave a serious mark. There's a story floating around about a particularly chaotic moment on set that reportedly had crew members bailing early to avoid the drama. Allegedly, Matt Damon had a full-on breakdown after discovering that his scene had been edited yet again, with no warning, no heads up, nothing. It was just sudden script changes and a crew that seemed just as confused as he was. But here's where things get really juicy. Rumors say there were heated voicemails and possibly texts where Matt Damon supposedly went off on Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, calling it a manipulative backdoor move. Words like disrespectful and career sabotage were reportedly thrown around. One insider even claimed that Blake Lively showed up on set unannounced, pulled the director aside, and demanded that her cameo scene be refocused to better fit the film's comedic tone, essentially, to highlight Ryan more. Now, we don't have the receipts. Yet. But fans have definitely noticed how Damon reacted during press interviews at the time. When Deadpool 2 came up, he either dodged the question or gave vague answers that felt way colder than a typical movie promo. If that doesn't raise some eyebrows, wait till you hear how Ryan and Blake allegedly used their perfect couple image to manipulate the narrative and bury any potential scandal before it could blow up. Ryan and Blake have spent years crafting their brand as Hollywood's golden couple, charming, sarcastic, effortlessly glamorous, and adored by the public. But what happens when that picture-perfect image doesn't line up with what's actually happening off-camera? Behind the scenes of Deadpool 2, things were unfolding in stark contrast to the picture-perfect image Ryan and Blake projected online. Multiple sources claim that off-camera, the couple was far from the lovable duo they portrayed on social media. Instead, they were described as entitled, calculating, and perhaps worst of all, uncompromising. The speculation? Allegedly, Ryan and Blake used their power to control not only Matt Damon's scene, but also other cameo appearances. One insider suggested they were obsessed with maintaining a specific rhythm for the film, which meant cutting any performance that could potentially upstage Ryan's own delivery. The goal wasn't to collaborate or elevate the project, it was to trim anything that didn't fit their vision. And it gets even messier. Rumors claim that Brad Pitt, who had a blink and you'll miss it cameo, was also pushed to shoot under strict and, at times, absurd constraints. Some speculate that if Pitt's cameo had been any longer, it might have stolen too much of the spotlight.
Is my favourite story, I think, in showbiz this year. The Justin Baldoni war with Blake Lively, which seems to me, initially I felt quite sorry for Blake Lively.
This wasn't just about ego anymore, it was about controlling their image. If the allegations are true, Ryan and Blake might have actively worked to limit the screen presence of other celebrities to ensure they remained the center of attention, even in a movie packed with stars. And guess who wasn't buying into the carefully curated smiles? Matt Damon. Damon's closest friends, and possibly a few trusted allies, reportedly started calling out the couple's behavior behind closed doors. Matt Damon is no rookie when it comes to Hollywood drama. He's been in the game long enough to recognize a toxic set when he sees one. Allegedly, when things started getting weird on Deadpool 2, he didn't stay silent, at least not privately. According to well-placed sources, Damon confided in his circle, which includes longtime buddy Ben Affleck, and possibly even George Clooney, two stars who don't mess around when it comes to behind-the-scenes politics. Word has it that Affleck advised Damon to walk away from the situation entirely, warning him not to get caught up in a film where the entire tone was being dictated by someone else's ego. Clooney, who's seen his fair share of both comedy and drama on screen, and oft-reportedly joked that trying to outshine Ryan in his own movie was a career trap. There's even talk that Damon's agent pushed for his full cameo removal, no drama. No press tour, just walk away. But Damon, always the diplomat, chose to keep the peace, until, allegedly, he couldn't anymore. Once the warning bells started going off, Ryan and Blake apparently knew they needed to act fast. Cue the spin machine. No one works the media game better than Ryan and Blake, they're PR pros through and through. If the rumors are true, they went into overdrive as soon as Damon's discontent started bubbling up. Insiders claim the couple cranked up their perfect couple strategy, posting adorable family moments, sharing goofy behind-the-scenes stories, and tagging each other in witty online banter. Why? Allegedly, to drown out the noise. Some even say influencer partners were brought in for subtle damage control, with an uptick in Ryan-related memes and Blake fan accounts around the time of the cameo backlash. Coincidence? Maybe. But in Hollywood, coincidence is just code for calculated. While Damon stayed quiet, Ryan and Blake allegedly made sure the spotlight remained on them in all the right ways. Red carpet walks, charity appearances, parenting jokes, and basically a media blitz crafted to keep their image spotless while burying the behind-the-scenes chaos under layers of charm. But no amount of gloss can hide a growing rift forever. Eventually, Damon allegedly started dropping hints, and they weren't subtle. The silence cracked. According to multiple insider reports, Damon eventually spoke out, not in a headline, grabbing expose, but through cryptic jabs at carefully chosen moments during private industry events.
Then I've been reading all the messages between them all, and which he's been putting out, obviously, and it just seems like a pair of absolute weapons-grade narcissists.
Matt Damon allegedly confided in a small group, saying his cameo didn't go as promised. One source claims Damon told an interviewer off the record that working with certain people on Deadpool 2 felt like navigating a vanity project disguised as a comedy. That wasn't just a little shade, it was a full-on eclipse. And it doesn't end there. Damon reportedly turned down an offer for a follow-up cameo in Deadpool 3. Some say it was due to scheduling conflicts, but others insist it was Damon's quiet yet firm statement. Never again. It's a classic Hollywood move, no lawsuits, no public drama, just quietly pulling the plug. And in this case, that silence spoke louder than any official complaint. Damon, a guy known for his loyalty and low-key presence, simply walked away. That walk allegedly sent a message insiders couldn't ignore. So what's next? Will this story quietly fade away? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a much bigger unraveling in Hollywood? Reputation is everything. And when whispers start turning into patterns, people start paying attention. Allegedly, a few other actors have begun distancing themselves from cameo-heavy projects, with Ryan Reynolds not because they have anything against him personally, but because they don't want to end up as props in someone else's brand machine. Even Hugh Jackman, Ryan's longtime friend, has remained strangely quiet about returning for Deadpool cameos. Coincidence? Or is he being careful about when and how he steps back into the spotlight? There's also talk that directors are now rewriting cameo deals with stricter terms. Big-name actors are reportedly double-checking who's really calling the shots before signing on for a quick one-liner. Ryan and Blake haven't commented on the rumors, and they likely won't. That's how it goes. But behind closed doors, allegedly they know the damage has been done. Whether it's a minor bruise or a full-blown blow-up, that's still playing out. So, is this just another overhyped Hollywood rumor? Or the first crack in the polished image of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively? Matt Damon's alleged revelation, cryptic, restrained, but cutting has pulled back the curtain just enough to make us wonder. Could the world's most relatable celebrity couple actually be cold-blooded power players, pushing other A-listers aside to stay on top? Maybe. Maybe not. But one thing's for sure. Something happened on that Deadpool 2 set, and it wasn't the breezy, hilarious cameo vibe we saw on screen. Behind the laughs, the prosthetics, and the perfectly posed selfies, there was allegedly a high-stakes chess game where only one couple could keep the spotlight. And as fans, we're left wondering how many more of our favorite Hollywood friendships are held together by silence, manipulation, and good lighting. Because this wasn't just a cameo. This was a warning.